I work with personal injury firms every day, and I keep seeing the same painful pattern. Great firms pour in tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars into marketing and ad spend and generating a flood of leads. But then, only converting a handful of those into actual paying clients and still missing out on those $1 million cases. Today, I'm going to show you how an intake system helps PI firms convert leads and those high-value cases 40% faster without having to spend another dollar on ad spend. One of the PI firms that I recently started working with is spending more than $20,000 per month on ad spend, investing in PPC, LSA, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. They're getting the volume, but when we started looking closer into it, we realized that only a fraction of those leads are actually converting into sales, into actual paying clients. Why? Because of too much friction in the process. Delayed follow-ups, leads falling through the cracks, a cumbersome process for the PNC. And the issue with having a low conversion rate is those high-value cases that make or break your law firm in personal injury space end up going to competitors. Now contrast that with another PI firm that I'm working with. In their case, I converted more than 90% of the qualified leads coming through the door. That means that pretty much every single lead that contacts the firm ends up becoming a paying client. Because they're following up and reaching out faster and close while the lead is still hot. Because they make sure that the intake process is frictionless and they make it easy for the prospect to say yes and to move forward. And none of it is manual chaos. All of it is powered by a streamlined intake system and CRM that's actually built to convert. Now let me show you how a frictionless intake system would look like. First of all, you have a real-time view, a dashboard of all the leads that you have in your pipeline. And you're going to make sure that any new leads that contact your firm, be that through a form on your ad, or through your website chatbot, or through a phone call, get automatically added to the prospect stage, and you can clearly see as they progress throughout the pipeline and actually convert to a paying client. The second piece of the puzzle would be automated SMS and email messages. See, when leads first contact you through an ad, they have zero loyalty, zero trust with your firm, and speed here is everything. Contacting them less than a minute after they submit the form, or 5 minutes later, can actually signify a 2x decrease in your conversion rate. And having a CRM that automatically follows up with your leads will ultimately as well mean that your intake team can process more leads. Case in point, I recently contacted 4 law firms locally for a personal matter that I had. 2 of them never came back to me. 1 of them came back 1 day later, and only 1 of them sent an instant message with all the information that I needed in order to evaluate the service, and I actually end up hiring, obviously, that firm instead of the others. The third piece of the puzzle would be automated task assignment, so that your team knows exactly who to follow up with, when, and via which channel. That will not only reduce the mental load on your intake team, but it will also make sure that you're following up consistently and your competitors are not scooping up those $1 million cases. After that, the next piece would be streamlined scheduling, which automatically connects to the calendars of the relevant team members for consults. It could be attorneys, could be your sales team, and makes it easy both for your internal team or actually for the clients themselves to book themselves in for the next available appointment. And last but not least, automated engagement agreements sent immediately after the consult or actually during it, and making sure that as soon as the client signs, all of that is nicely uploaded and updated in the CRM. They get their welcome letter and get proceeded already with the onboarding of their case. There is literally no reason in 2025 to be spending days or even hours preparing an engagement agreement after the consult. All of this can be automated. And so you don't need to spend more on marketing to generate more unqualified leads or to insert qualified leads into a process that doesn't work. What PI firms really need is a streamlined and frictionless intake and sales process that maximizes the conversions of those $1 million cases.